Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, second chapter, entitled The Lord in the Heart, text number 6. Evam svachitte svata eva siddha Atma priyo artho bhagavan anantaha Tam nirvrito niyatartho bhajeta Samsara hetu paramascha yatra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Thus being fixed, one must render service unto the Supersoul, situated in one's own heart by His omnipotency. Because He is the Almighty Personality of Godhead, eternal and unlimited, He is the ultimate goal of life, and by worshipping Him, one can end the cause of the conditioned state of existence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 18.61, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna is the all-pervading omnipresent Supersoul. Therefore, one who is a yogi can worship only Him because He is the substance and not illusion. Every living creature is engaging in the service of something else. A living being's constitutional position is to render service, but in the atmosphere of Maya or illusion, or the conditional state of existence, the conditioned soul seeks the service of illusion. A conditioned soul works in the service of his temporary body, bodily relatives like the wife and children, and the necessary paraphernalia for maintaining the body and bodily relations, such as the house, land, wealth, society, and country, but he does not know that all such renderings of service are totally illusory. As we have discussed many times before, this material world is itself an illusion, like a mirage in the desert. In the desert, there is an illusion of water, and the foolish animals become entrapped by such an illusion and run after water in the desert, although there is no water at all. But because there is no water in the desert, one does not conclude that there is no water at all. The intelligent person knows well that there is certainly water in the seas and oceans, but such vast reservoirs of water are far, far away from the desert. One should therefore search for water in the vicinity of seas and oceans and not in the desert. Every one of us is searching after real happiness in life, namely eternal life, eternal or unlimited knowledge, and unending blissful life. But foolish people who have no knowledge of the substance search after the reality of life in the illusion. This material body does not endure eternally, and everything in relation with this temporary body, such as the wife, children, society, and country, also changes along with the change of body. This is called samsara, or repetition of birth, death, old age, and disease. We would like to find a solution for all these problems of life, but we do not know the way. Herein it is suggested that anyone who wants to make an end to these miseries of life, namely repetition of birth, death, disease, and old age, must take to this process of worshipping the Supreme Lord and not others, as it is also ultimately suggested in the Bhagavad Gita 18.65. If we at all want to end the cause of our conditioned life, we must take to the worship of Lord Sri Krishna, who is present in everyone's heart by his natural affection for all living beings, who are actually the parts and parcels of the Lord. The baby in the lap of his mother is naturally attached to the mother, and the mother is attached to the child. But when the child grows up and becomes overwhelmed by circumstances, he gradually becomes detached from the mother, although the mother always expects some sort of service from the grown-up child and is equally affectionate toward her child even though the child is forgetful. Similarly, because we are all part and parcel of the Lord is always affectionate to us and He always tries to get us back home, back to Godhead. But we, the conditioned souls, do not care for Him and run instead after the illusory bodily connections. We must therefore extricate ourselves from all illusory connections of the world and seek reunion with the Lord, trying to render service unto Him because He is the ultimate truth. Actually, we are hankering after Him as the child seeks the mother. And to search out the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we need not go anywhere else because the Lord is within our hearts. This does not suggest, however, that we should not go to the places of worship, namely the temples, churches, and mosques. Such holy places of worship are also occupied by the Lord because the Lord is omnipresent. For the common man, these holy places are centers of learning about the science of God. When the temples are devoid of activities, the people in general become uninterested in such places, and consequently, the mass of people gradually become godless, and a godless civilization is the result. Such a hellish civilization artificially increases the conditions of life, and existence becomes intolerable for everyone. The foolish leaders of a godless civilization try to devise various plans to bring about peace and prosperity in the godless world under a patent trademark of materialism. And because such attempts are illusory only, the people elect incompetent blind leaders, one after another, who are incapable of offering solutions. If we want at all to end this anomaly of a godless civilization, we must follow the principles of revealed scriptures like the Srimad Bhagavatam and follow the instruction of a person like Sri Shukdev Goswami, who has no attraction for material gain. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So this chapter is called Lord in the Heart. Every devotee should read several times this chapter. Because when we are searching after Krishna consciousness, the closest place where we can find Krishna is in our own hearts. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta mata smritirjnanam apohanam cha Ishara sarvabhutanam hrideshi arjuna tishtati. This is a very important aspect of Krishna consciousness. The super soul who is seated in our heart is directly connected with our past, present and future. If there is anybody who knows all our stories of so many lives, it is the Paramatma in our heart. Lord has expanded as super soul into each of our hearts. We always think that we are leading our life, forgetting that without super soul we cannot lead our life. Super soul has seated in the heart. He makes this life itself possible. And he is seated as Upadrishta and Hanumanta, continuously sanctioning direction or no direction according to our karma to fulfill our desires. So whether it is a devotee's life or it is karmi's life, the center of life is Paramatma. The difference between the karmi and the devotees is the devotee knows that Lord is actually the center of my life. And he has a very special relationship with the Lord in the heart as a center of all my services. We are engaged in so many activities. All those activities that the devotee does is to please the Lord in the heart. There is a practice of surrender. Whereas the karmi is also engaged in so many activities, so many desires, involved in thinking, feeling, willing, doing, desiring, everything. And in his chittam world, in the karmi's chittam world, ahankara, false ego, is the center. seeing, desiring, thinking, feeling, willing, doing, experiencing. All this is what the living entity does in this material world. As Prabhupada explains, they are seeking the different types of Sattva, Chitta and Ananda. One is always deep within. One is never satisfied unless he experiences eternal life and eternal knowledge and unending blissful life, Ananda. So each living entity is chasing after these three, Sattva, Chitta and Ananda. But as Prabhupada says, this material world, because false ego is a center of seeking Satchidananda, satisfaction to false ego. False ego means illusory master, not existing. So we are engaged in illusory egoing to experience Sattva, Chitta and Ananda. But the fact is that our constitutional experience of Sattva, Chitta and Ananda can come only in relationship with the Sat Lord, the eternal Lord. Therefore, in devotee's life, Supersoul is always the center of his life and his activities. Because especially a preacher, he is not sitting in Nirjana Bhavan, Bhajan, only doing japa and thinking of Radha and Krishna. And it is not possible for everybody to do that, because one has to spell out and experience his prarabdha karma, unless one becomes a Paramahamsa. So these prarabdha karmas is the karma that we have to live out in each of our lives. This prarabdha karma management, perfect management of these prarabdha karma, without getting implicated for another life, is only by connecting ourselves with the Lord in the heart. So when we are doing chanting, yes, you can chant, japa, you can worship Radha and Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And during the daytime, we are preaching Krishna consciousness. We engage in various activities. The Lord is seated in our heart as Chaitya Guru. So one has to always be Guru conscious, external and internal Guru conscious in engaging in service. And the devotee will find perfect reciprocation from the Lord. Day after day, day after day. One does not wait to leave this body to feel Krishna's presence. Krishna's presence as Chaitya Guru, Lord in the heart, the almighty personality of Godhead, the omnipotent personality of Godhead, is seated in my heart for me, ready to help. One should have full faith that Krishna is there to ready always to help. Guru is always there to help. Chaitya Guru is the internal spiritual master and external spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, through his books, through his teachings. And the Supersoul is pleased with every activity. So a disciple does every activity for the pleasure of Guru. So whenever we read in Prabhupada's book, we read in different places Guru, satisfying the Guru, following the instructions of Guru. One should understand Guru means the internal spiritual master and the external spiritual master. The external spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and internal spiritual master and active spiritual master is, that is Chaitya Guru. So sometimes devotees, they don't understand this. They jump to higher levels of bhajana, which will not make them progress Real Krishna conscious progress is one has to be always conscious that to take directions from Lord in the heart. You chant 16 rounds nicely in the morning, then Paramatma in our heart is the closest friend. Just we say, even Guru is our closest friend. So Paramatma it is such an exhilarating feeling. One gets that I am in spiritual life. I am not alone. My life is not being lived alone. My life is being led by Krishna in my heart. So a devotee feels so secure, so protected. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, always provided. This is the consciousness of surrender. So devotee is always surrendered to the Lord in the heart. He is always practicing that. Whenever he executes any devotional service, he should understand that immediately the Lord in the heart is receiving it. And he is smiling, he is appreciating. So we do our services in Krishna consciousness. We should learn how to do our services in Krishna consciousness. Whom are you serving? You are serving somebody who is right there, ready to receive the service. Yes, very good. Done. 24 hours, everything that we do, our consciousness goes away from pleasing false ego to pleasing the Supersoul. So karmi life means one falls down to serve false egos. Service he cannot stop. He has to desire something, he has to think something, feeling, willing, doing, experiencing. Something he has to be doing always. So either we can serve false ego with all our soul faculties of thinking, feeling, willing, desiring, or we can serve the glorious Supreme Lord and become glorious, gloriously situated, perfection of life. So devotion service to the Lord is perfection of life. And this stage of practice is called devotion service in practice. Sadhana bhakti is called devotion service in practice. So we engage in devotion service means every day, internally and externally, so many decisions we have to take. Continuously we are taking decision, accepting and rejecting. Everything that you accept, you should ensure that it is pleasing to Krishna. Everything that you reject in your mind, if it is not pleasing to Krishna. And never accept anything which is not pleasing to Krishna. And never reject anything that is pleasing to Krishna. So in this way, our accepting and rejecting is our mind's activity. Our mind is fully engaged in devotion service. And in the matter of accepting and rejecting, what pleases Krishna, the Lord will guide from within the heart. There is no confusion. Oh, this is pleasing Krishna or not pleasing Krishna. The Lord will guide within our heart. So, for those who want to serve false ego, those who are forgetful of Krishna, life with Krishna, for Krishna's pleasure, is the highest pleasure for devotee. Because that is his constitutional position as an eternal loving servant of the Supreme Almighty Lord. That is the reason why a devotee is living his life following the 6 guidelines of surrender. Accept things favorable for devotion service, reject things unfavorable for devotion service. Thinking, feeling, willing, desiring. Accept desires that are favorable, that pleases Krishna, reject desires that are not pleasing to Krishna. Accept thoughts that are pleasing to Krishna, reject thoughts that are not pleasing to Krishna. Accept feelings that are pleasing to Krishna, reject feelings that are not pleasing to Krishna. Accept willing decisions that are pleasing to Krishna and reject that are not displeasing to Krishna. Seeing. See things in a way in which it is pleasing to Krishna, because we see with our mind's eyes, not with our gross eyes. So we should see everything purely with the mind, as belonging to Krishna. So accept. Another way of seeing is, yes, this object could be enjoyable for me. That is unfavorable, displeasing seeing. What we see, what we think, what we feel, everything the Lord is sensing sitting in our heart. The Lord in our heart is sensitive. If a devotee is struggling hard, I am a sadhaka. From now onwards, everything I think, feel, will, everything I will check if it is pleasing to Krishna in my heart. So obviously sinful activities are all out. One does not accept any of the sinful activities. Normally, if something you don't do as per your mind, you don't want to do, and if it pleases Krishna, you will do. Whenever we accept something, we are actually rejecting something. When you accept Krishna, we are rejecting Maya. When you are rejecting Maya, you are accepting Krishna. Accepting and rejecting does not stand separately. If there is acceptance of something, there is rejection of something. Is it not? Accepting comes by rejecting, and rejecting comes from accepting. Accepting is called Sankalpa and rejecting is called Vikalpa. Just like in Japa, you make Sankalpa to hear, then there is Vikalpa, rejection of thinking. Or you practice rejecting thinking, automatically hearing is there. So, that's all, as simple as this. Philosophy of Krishna consciousness is nothing but as simple as this. Live your life according to 6 guidelines of surrender. The 2 guidelines are accepting and rejecting. Other guidelines are Krishna is my only protector. Krishna is my only maintainer. Krishna is my only provider. And always feel dependent upon the mercy of the Lord. That's all. Nice consciousness, no? Action direction is accept things favorable for devotion service, reject things that are unfavorable. But what is the state of mind we have to have? We have to have a state of mind of always depending on Krishna, not independent of Krishna. Independent existence. There are 2 types of consciousness of existing in this world. Existence. One is I am self-made, I am self-provided, self-protected, self-maintained, self-everything. And the surrendered consciousness, I am Krishna-dependent, I am Krishna maintained, I am Krishna protected, I am Krishna provided. Two different kinds of consciousness. So maintain this consciousness, existential consciousness of depending upon Krishna, being fearless about one's existence, that who will maintain me, be fearless about who will protect me. We have to practice that consciousness. As soon as you are in that consciousness, the Lord is in the heart. How will you ever not get protected? How will you ever not guided? The Lord is more anxious to give guidance, give protection to a devotee who is seeking. So the best way to handle our mind which is thinks of so many things, because independent life means you always think, my life I have to take care, I have to think of my future, etc. My life, because we are born like that, to be independent people. The first thing that devotee learns is Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Don't think of your tomorrow. Think of my tomorrow, and your tomorrow you will be relieved. Think of what I will do for Krishna tomorrow. How I will please Krishna. How I will please Prabhupada. You do your planning. What service I should do for Krishna tomorrow. Don't do your planning, what I will eat tomorrow, where I will sleep tomorrow. Who will protect me? Nothing. Have full faith. And simply live your day. But live your day not in ignorance. The child also lives his day. Animal also lives his day. But they are in the fear consciousness. They cannot be conscious of the Supersoul in the heart. So devotees also live like a child, but they are in Krishna consciousness. My Supreme Father will take care of me, will protect me, guide me, and I have to serve Him as a loyal servant. I cannot take more responsibility than what a tiny jiva can take. I am simply order carrier of the Supreme Lord. These are the kind of consciousness that we should cultivate in the course of our executing our devotional service. Krishna consciousness is something to be practiced in our day-to-day life, not simply reading books. Reading books, hearing class, giving class. You have to actually apply that in your life. Every day, from Mangalarti till I sleep, we should become expert in applying the essence of Krishna conscious knowledge. And then it becomes a lifestyle. Surrendered consciousness, accepting and rejecting things based on... In other words, our life becomes a life meant only for pleasing the Supersoul. Pleasing the Lord in the heart. Any questions?
Krishna consciousness is something that is to be practiced in our life. Simply reading books and giving classes or attending classes will not work much.
Not worth much, it's not enough. The cycle is not complete. I'm not minimizing that. But the cycle is not complete. We have to live Krishna consciousness. You read in order to live Krishna consciousness. You hear in order to live Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is a way of living eternal life. Karmi life is another way of living. Oh, okay, let's continue what you're saying.
So, that Acharya described that simply by the process of hearing in this age of Kali, you can achieve perfection. So, how we can understand that reading books and hearing classes, simply by that we can achieve perfection?
If you are pure, then you can do that. Otherwise, you have to do other services. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna 24 hours, you can attain perfection. Can you do that? Will the karmic forces, prarabdha karmic forces in your mind allow you to do that? It will not allow. That is why Bhaktivedanta. Theoretically, that is correct. It's absolute statement. Simply by hearing, you get perfection. But now, we have to, that is why our program is two things, hearing, chanting and also preaching. We think preaching is to make others Krishna conscious. That is only one part. Preaching is required for us to dovetail our desires, our forces, our mind, all our thinking, feeling for Krishna. Otherwise, our thinking, feeling and willing will do for ourselves, for ahankara. When you're born with prarabdha karma, there is a force. Yesterday's class, Prabhupada was saying that there's a force to enjoy and a force that will inflict suffering on you. A force to enjoy will come in your mind due to your past punyas. A forceful suffering will come in the result of your past papas. Papa bija, punya bijas are always sprouting new ones on the force of kala. It's called guna kala karma. Karma forces karma bijas are sprouting in the form of influence of different gunas based on the pattern of your past karma. 10 o'clock in the morning, some thinking, feeling and willing is coming from your chitta into your conscious mind. 2 o'clock, something else will come. 10 o'clock in the night, something else will come. You are not controlling. After it comes, you are saying accept or reject. But it's coming, you are not able to control. So don't worry about what comes into your mind. Oh, dirty thoughts are coming into your mind. Don't be disturbed. It will come. It has to go somewhere. You reject it, that's all. Be worried about I am accepting or rejecting. Don't be worried about what comes into your mind. Crazy things, horrible things, sinful things. They're all bija sitting inside. It will come. Now you should think that is not me, that is past illusion. Oh, I'm a devotee, my mind is so much disturbed. I cannot practice Krishna consciousness. The first result of Krishna consciousness, serious Krishna consciousness, is lot of disturbing things will come in the mind. But you should understand that no disturbance is more powerful than devotion service, chanting Hare Krishna. So you have got a powerful, when you become a devotee, just as sometimes devotees say, Prabhu, I was not so much about agitated about sex when I was outside. Now I am become a brahmachari. I am seeing it is so much more agitation after doing all this devotion service. I said the result of devotion service is it will stir up all the dirt in your heart. One should be happy it is going away. Don't embrace them. Without your asking, sinful thoughts are coming in your mind. Don't embrace them. You cannot stop it. You say, you develop a detachment from them. Some good things come before you in life. Some bad things come before you in life. Can you control what comes before you in life? No. What can you control? How I relate with what comes in front of my life. What happens in my life I cannot control. Very complicated, laws of karma. But I can control what happens, how I relate with what happens in my life. How do I respond to what happens in my life? So a crazy thought come in your mind, you have got a freedom how to respond to that. That formula is accepting and rejecting formula. Accepting things that pleases Krishna, rejecting things that is only one formula. So devotee is perfectly situated. Even if crazy thoughts are coming in your mind, you can still be situated in pure devotion service. Because that thoughts are old thoughts. They're not you. They're not you. What comes on its own is coming from the old memory. Now, if you embrace it, then it becomes current. Old enjoyer egos, so many enjoyer egos are sitting in our subconscious mind, chittam. That enjoyer ego, when it comes, you should disassociate. This is my old ego, false ego. Not even really, the false ego. It's a ghost, it's an illusion. I don't want to serve illusion, I want to serve real ego. And the absolute real ego is the Supreme Almighty Lord seated in our heart. I am a real ego. Krishna in my heart is another real ego. I want to do real service with the Dasa ego and the Lord ego. So devotee should not become one thing. That's why he should become dhira. Dhira doesn't mean no disturbance. Cause of disturbance will not be there. Cause of disturbance will be there. First accept that. Till you become pure devotee, till your chittam is completely cleaned out, cause of disturbance will be there. But you should not get disturbed. That is dhira. Why? Because you have got Krishna. You know Krishna is waiting. How you will respond to it? No, I don't agree to this. This is not pleasing to Krishna. You have got your free will. You have got your willpower to accept and reject. Understood? Or one more clarification.
Devotional service is a national constitutional position. So if we are in constitutional position, we will be happy and blessed. So by doing devotional service, sometimes we feel anxiety. So that anxiety we can take. It will please Krishna, or we have to reject. How we do?
No, anxiety you have to take. Anxiety, anything that helps you to do Krishna's service. See, if suppose I have some service, there is a limited anxiety. If you don't take, nobody can do any service. Without taking some stress, nobody can do anything. There is no motivation. No stress, no motivation. Now, the question is about what is the level of stress. If you think you alone are in the picture, then your stress is very high. Then you will get diabetic. After a few years of service, you will get diabetic. But if you learn how to take stress, knowing that Dasa level stress is limited. It is Krishna's work to give result, not give result. Everything is, he is supreme controller. I cannot take the stress of controlling the results. I can control my act, my contribution, what I should do, what I should not do. Just like say we have to complete this temple. I can take stress, what can I do, what can I do, what can I do. I cannot take stress, will it get completed or not. I cannot take that anxiety. It is left to Krishna, when and how to complete it. But I should take stress to contribute my action, my dasatva. So in that case, see, no, living entity is very tiny. Even in a small activity, you are only one of the factors of multiple. Say the temple is running. How many devotees have to contribute their tiny role? Can anybody once say that I am running the temple? Can the temple president say I am running the temple? Can say, but then that will be ahankara. Because of me, temple is running. I am running the temple. This is false consciousness. Even relatively speaking, it is a lie to you. You are telling lie to yourself. So unnecessarily, while you are imagining the burden, I am running the temple. Foolish fellow. And getting blood pressure. My role is like any other. Bhakta has a role. Assistant Pujari has a role. I have also my role. That's all. Everybody does their role. And who is the coordinator of all this? The Supersoul. Srila Prabhupada. So we are all serving Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is giving the Shakti for all his disciples. So if at all you can say anybody is doing, it is Supersoul Guru combined. He is doing everything in devotional service that the devotee achieves. So anxiety, Krishna conscious anxiety we should take. There is a level of anxiety for a dasa. It's a surrendered anxiety. Dependent anxiety. Anxiety with faith that the Lord will guide me, protect me. Karmis have anxiety, no Lord in the picture. So we also have to take anxiety. There's no fun in life. When you take anxiety, you see reciprocation from Krishna. You will see Krishna's protection, you see Krishna's hands. As you grow up in that consciousness, you will feel that Krishna is always with you. That is Krishna consciousness. No? I am not alone. I am not living alone. I am not doing alone. I am not thinking alone. I am not feeling alone. I am not willing alone. In everything, Krishna is there in my heart, and with His mercy I am doing. Nimitta matram bhav savyasaj. I am there. I have fought this war. Arjuna, just become a nimitta matra. Just do your service. If you don't do service or do service, result will be done. These people are already killed. So Krishna decides the result. If you don't do, somebody else, Lord will use the instrument. But He has decided this war, this should be the result.
You mentioned in the class that false ego is illusory egoism.
experience Satchitananda by having false ego at the center of activity. So my question is that by changing our ego to Krishna conscious ego, does false ego diminish or it will be there but not effective?
When there is light, there is no darkness. False ego is a illusory ego. Illusion goes. But memory of false ego, old false ego, memory. Memory is different. Memory of a kartal is not kartal. So memory of my past experience. Suppose you enjoy sense gratification. Over. But its memory is there. That memory will come up again. And the memory will be, the leader of the memory will be one enjoyer ego. Because our chittam experientially captures memory. The enjoyer, the enjoyed, the enjoying process, the enjoyment, everything is captured. Just like you watch a movie, you capture everything. Our chittam has got that capacity. When you are enjoying something, it's not only what is happening is you are enjoying. Your chittam is capturing the memory. So that vasana is there in our chittam. That is not real. So that will come up again. When that comes up, a false ego does not become an ego unless you adopt that. Just like you see, the printed matter in the book does not become meaning unless you join that. Otherwise, it is only black ink. Samajha? Moment you see, yes, it is meaning. In the Vedas, it is said that the persons. Similarly, false ego, I am this body, this false ego, I am an enjoyer, is an idea. That idea becomes, idea is like a bulb without electricity. The electricity is your real ego. So false ego is useless without real ego, saying that I am that. So false ego is an illusory ego. It is not a real, it is only in the mind. The real ego is the one who thinks, feels, wills, everything. So real ego is influenced by false ego. False ego has no thinking capacity, feeling capacity, doing capacity, nothing. False ego is leeches on, is like a parasite. It lives on your real ego. So that is why if you say, I won't give my real ego anymore, the old enjoyer ego comes. No, I won't. I won't give my thinking, feeling, desiring, I won't give. Finished. False ego is dead. And now I should give that to Krishna, Lord in my heart. I'll desire for Krishna, I'll think for Krishna, I'll feel for Krishna, will for Krishna. Easily cross over the samsara through devotional service. Otherwise, action, reaction, life after life, another life, you have to take to enjoy the result of your punya and papa. Yes.
As one's happiness and distress is destined based on this activities of previous life.
What is destined?
Happiness and distress.
Happiness and distress.
So whatever activities one performs in the current life, will that not contribute for this happiness and distress?
You're talking devotee's life or?
You can either both scenarios.
Both. Yes. Now, no. There are certain, let's say due to some past activities, you have to have happiness and you're enjoying. If that happiness if you're doing as per the Shastra, it is only a spending, not earning. If you have money in the pocket, if you take your finances, there is money coming in. That is due to your past. And then you are spending. Now you are responsible for that. Money coming, you are not responsible. It is coming due to your past. So in the same way, if you take our activity, let's say I am enjoying something. If that enjoyment is due to you as per your past karma, it is just burning away. It is not creating anything new. But invariably, in the material world, if you are a non-devotee, that enjoyment will create entanglement and you will also create some reactions. Because you cannot enjoy in a nirapeksha consciousness. In a detached consciousness, you cannot enjoy. You will become attached and you will create again action-reaction. Every action intricately creates. That's why I said, whose question is for whom? Devotees, if some material enjoyment comes, it because his goal is Krishna consciousness. You just come and go. You fulfill all the, some prarabdha karma is there. It will come and it will go. He is not worried. When he voluntarily takes up something and does, for instance, suppose he's got a karma to enjoy opposite sex. Then there are two ways of doing it. One is enjoy it as per dharma. Another is misuse the same enjoying capacity that you have got, destiny, in an illicit manner. When you do in an illicit manner, you are creating a... So that's why man is asked to live in a dharmic way. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. There are 4 purusharthas. 4 purusharthas means 4 purposes of life. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Material life you cannot have without artha and kama. But it has to be guided by dharma. Do your artha and kama as per your dharma, as per the dharmic principles. Sex has to be enjoyed, it has to be enjoyed as per dharma, within the marriage life. Then no reaction. Do some new activity, then you get reaction. So your question of how the interplay of me enjoying happiness in distress. For instance, let us say, distressing situation. He is in distress, he is suffering, his mind is suffering. Let's say he is a devotee. That wave of suffering will come. But now you see, when suffering comes, he is Krishna conscious. When he is Krishna conscious, not only he is free from reaction to that suffering, he in fact creates solution for that suffering also. When you are Krishna conscious, Machchitta sarvadurgani matprasadat tarishyasi atachetam ahankara nashosasi vinangshasi. You become conscious of Krishna and overcome those suffering. So there is no question of suffering creating another suffering. Now in the karmi's case, when there is suffering, he will not to remove those suffering. He will try to create new activities, which will create new reactions. So it's a vicious circle. That is why it is said, for simply by enjoying, if you are not a devotee, simply by enjoying and suffering your past karma, you cannot end your life. You will create new karma bija, you will create. But devotees, they have devotional service. Sukha or dukkha, they will act according to the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Over. No karma bija. Just finish your prarabdha karma, end of life, you're off. No more material body. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.